Portal 2 is a pretty good game. It's so good, this is already the third time I'm talking about it on this channel. And I haven't made that many videos yet. It blends tight puzzle design with physics platforming and adds a touch of... Hey, moron! But I want to know, how does Portal 2 lie to you, trick you, bamboozle, pull the wool over your eyes? Because I am not what you would call a puzzle game guy. I like the raid mechanics in Destiny because they require teamwork. I like Zelda's puzzles because they require you to think outside the box. Generally, I like games that are reactive. You solve problems through self-expression, not because there is only one intended solution. But somehow, Portal 2 tricks me into liking a puzzle game. So how do they do it? There's only one way to find out. I need to design a game like Portal 2. It's the only way. No other option. No way I could find out otherwise. The problem is that I've never designed a puzzle game before. And I can't code anything more than a text box. But like a really sick text box. So how do I learn if I can't code a game like Portal 2? Oh, you being the best game ever again. That's right. In the pursuit of becoming a better game developer, I am going to make my very own Portal 2 puzzle. Even though I have no idea what I'm doing. What could possibly go wrong? Now, I actually didn't solve one of those problems, which is that I have never designed a puzzle before. Like, not just a puzzle game, I've never designed a puzzle before. Which means we're kinda winging it. Luckily, I have some basic ideas and a high school level understanding of geometry. Introducing the cube. Here's the premise. There are 9 buttons in the center of the room. There are 9 cubes that you have to find scattered across the level. Pretty simple, right? This is a co-op puzzle, so you and your teammate need to work together to solve puzzles in order to win cubes, and then place your winning cubes back on the buttons in the center of the room to unlock the final door. Pretty clever, right? I immediately made a huge oversight. 2, actually. So it turns out that only 8 buttons can be connected to a door at a time. I didn't realize this until I built like 60% of the room. So one of those buttons just doesn't do anything. We'll pretend like it's part of the puzzle. It's actually not so bad. I mean, it just means that enterprising players can end early. What I also didn't realize was that you can portal into the exit room. So that means that you only need 6 of the 9 cubes. Well, I'm sure more oversights like that won't come up. Why do I hear foreboding music? Okay, enough pretense. Let's take a tour. Personally, my favorite part of Portal 2 were the traversal puzzles. You aren't trying to solve a complex password or locked door. There's a ledge really high up, and you need to get up there. Good luck. So I started with this puzzle. It's a big pit of death water. There's a button on the other side, and you gotta press it. If I was thinking, I would have made it so it fell into the maze, but say la vie, next time. Like I said before, I like puzzles that you can solve in multiple ways, and this is one of them. All you need to do is get a lot of speed and a well-placed portal to clear the gap. But there is one obvious solution, which is right here in the corner. There's a really random jump pad. What, did the designer misclick? Did he forget? Did he really neglect playtesting so badly that he didn't even notice the random out of place? Oh. Yeah, it's not a masterpiece, but it's not a masterpiece. That made more sense in my head. Over here in this corner was the obligatory teamwork puzzle. I wanted at least one that you needed your teammate to solve. I do not know how I created this. I don't fully understand it, or even comprehend it. There's no, like, code or anything, it's just communication. But I'll do my best. Basically, there are symbols that connect doors to buttons, but the buttons that you need to unlock the door blocking your progress are in the other hallway where your teammate is. You could probably guess, but it's supposed to play out that you help each other get through the next door until finally one of you unlocks the final door and you get out on the other side. I had a feeling you could get soft lock here, but I did design it so you could use portals in the room, so I figured there would always be a way back. You know, just place a portal outside, easy. What I didn't consider was a player putting both portals in the same room, or both players going into the same room with both portals in the room. I didn't think of these things when I was making the puzzle. They are really obvious to me now. I didn't think of a lot of things when I designed this puzzle. You'll see more later. Luckily, my door puzzle to soft lock ratio is only 50% because there is no way to get soft locked in this room. Or at least nobody did during the playtest. If it wasn't obvious before, I made this puzzle to mess with my friends. Of course, I was going to test my game design ability, but, also I was going to make a room with 300 doors with no solution except randomly finding the one with a button in it. And some of the rooms have turrets. I'm a game design genius. Oh, and speaking of tormenting my friends, we gotta talk about my favorite puzzle. No! The maze. If you go to either of these spots, you'll fall down a hole into the maze. The exit is blocked by giant walls, and the only way out is to find the one portable surface hidden in the back of the maze, and to get to a vantage point to shoot a portal to the exit room. There is little to no strategy or game design, only maze. It's my favorite. But hiding in the maze is another puzzle, a button which sends down one of the cubes way up top, back in the center. A puzzle might be a little generous, it's just a button hidden in the maze, but you'd be surprised by how many players miss the button on their first visit to the maze. Also, you can't leave if you don't hit the button since it also starts up these orange goo machines, which are needed to rocket out. So I'm not that evil, okay? Back in the center of the room, you can walk up this ramp to find another puzzle. I borrowed the concept for this one from Portal 2's campaign. All you do is portal to the other side of the wall and then knock out all the turrets. It's not like clever or anything, but I really like this one because it isn't about the puzzle itself. It's the light bridge. Most players are going to treat the chamber like it's 9 separate puzzles, but if you're willing to think a little more inside the box, you'll realize that this bridge can be used to solve like 3 or 4 different puzzles way easier, including the last one. The single puzzle in this whole room, which I am actually proud of, is this one. It's not overly clever or anything, but it's fun. If you couldn't tell, I'm not really a puzzle guy, but I love Portal 2 because so many of the puzzles involve movement and platforming, and in this case, teamwork. Friends and fun. That's basically everything I love in video games. You cannot reach the ledge by portaling. Instead, you need to launch yourself with a good amount of speed. You can actually solve this in a whole bunch of ways. See? Personal expression. Another thing I like a lot. You can use this room's high ceiling and have a friend portal you up. You can use the launcher against the wall and place a second portal to shoot you back up to the top. You can even stack cubes if you have enough, which isn't recommended, but it is really funny. Once you're up, you have more platforming to do. You need to somehow get the goo to make this jump, which is pretty easy, but, then you get to leap across the gap with the cube waiting for you at the top. It's fun. That speed's fun. It's not too complicated, it's fun to pull off, and it's funny when you fall. And then you win. The end. That was the whole room. Every puzzle. After I uploaded it to the Portal 2 servers, all that was left was to get it playtested. You probably want to know how that went, huh? Well, one person didn't show, so I ended up needing to partner up with my buddy Jose, but without helping at all with the puzzles, which meant he basically played with a Skyrim NPC. The second team did great, but also found the button skip and missed a third of the room. And the third team forgot to turn on their recording software. And even if they had, they got soft locked so many times in the door puzzle that they just gave up. But despite the many technical hiccups, everybody seemed to have fun, which I think is what counts when it comes to video games. If you're curious, these were the playtesters' reviews, though they might be a little biased since they know and like me. And as the forever DM at the table, I may have threatened to banish their characters to the astral plane. Rest in peace, Sylvius. Before you go, what did we learn? Well, you should always try new things because you learn the most from your failures. Games are better with friends because even things didn't go according to plan. I'm gonna let you finish past me, but I am the greatest puzzle designer in the world.